What's up, good people? What's up, family? All my plugs and plugettes. Go ahead and join the live stream. It's been a minute. I didn't do a live stream last Friday, so decided to jump on here and hope y'all had an amazing week. So I'm gonna wait for some folks to jump on the live. But on this channel, my mission is to help create different avenues for the African American community to get plugged into Ghana. I go by the name of King Anan. And when you jump on the chat, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Don't be shy. What's up, Jay? Let me know where you're watching me from and how long you've been watching my channel. Or if you're new, introduce yourself. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just share this live stream and hopefully get some people to come join us. So give me just a moment. I gotta charge my phone. And also, please go ahead and like the live stream, share it with your friends, anybody else that you think might want to check this out, check out this type of content. Houston, Texas. That's what's up. H-Town. Yeah, my parents live out there. They live in Manville, which is a little bit outside Houston. But yeah, I've been out there a few times. So that's what's up. Well, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I really, really appreciate you. I appreciate you. I hope you're enjoying the content. If you have any questions, please comment below and let me know. I want to answer any questions that you might have, specifically about Ghana or Africa. So just let me know if you're enjoying the content, and if you have any questions, please feel free. That's what I'm here for. I'm here tonight to talk about possibly living in Ghana one day. Hopefully in the near future, what that would look like, what that might be like. What's up, Antonio? What's going on with you? Silver Spring, Maryland. Thank you, Antonio. I appreciate you, brother. Silver Spring, yeah, that's kind of like my old stomping ground. I used to live in DC, um, ooh, 20 years ago. Yeah, I lived in DC during 9/11, the unfortunate event. And I've been through Silver Spring, Georgia Avenue, driving up and down Georgia Avenue. So yeah, I know that area. Okay, you've been researching and looking for places to stay in Ghana. Well, Accra is where it's at. That's where everybody goes, because Accra is obviously the capital. So you're probably gonna stay in Accra, um, and then you can venture out. Cape Coast. A lot of folks go there. You consider residency there. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Um, yeah, I actually did an interview with a gentleman who is a business consultant. He's from Congo, and we did an interview today. I'm gonna be posting that probably within the next week or so. So keep looking out for that. That's gonna be soon. And he has a lot of information about investing in Africa and the different type of business ventures that you can take advantage of. So if you're a business minded and you're looking for business opportunities, yeah, you wanna wait for that video. But also, yeah, definitely visit first. If I don't know if Jay, you've been to Africa at all, you've been to any parts of Africa, but don't feel pressured like you wanna invest the first time. Visit first, get to know the lay of the land, do the whole tourist thing. Hey, Hannah, what's up? No, you're not late. You're right on time. You're right on time. I just got started barely within the last 5 minutes. It just hit 5 minutes, so you're right on time. if you want to join me on the live stream, you want to come in and chat with me, Hannah, I'd love to have you. Anyone else that want to join me, you don't have to be on camera. It's not by force. You don't have to be on camera, but I'd love to see your beautiful face. But yeah, so I actually have two videos coming pretty soon about I'll be seeing the land. Oh, you purchased land there already? Wow, congratulations. Congratulations. I can't even spell. That's awesome. Where did you purchase your land at? Um, okay. What's up, Jewel? Hey, my friend. Nadine de kind de Jewel. What's going on, lady? So yeah, anyone that wants to join me on the live chat, on the screen, you can. You're more than welcome. Like I said, you don't have to be on camera, but I'd love to chat with you. So let me know. And while you guys are entering your questions, uh, Candid actually lives in Ghana. So yeah, she's actually more of an expert than me because she's been living in Ghana for a little bit over a year, right? Right, Candid? Jewel? Yeah, she's been living in Ghana. She knows everything that there is to know about living in Ghana, obviously. She's doing it. She's walking the walk and talking the talk. And you can click on her um a year next week. Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations, Sunyani. Wow, that's out there. That's a place that I've never been to before. The regions in Ghana I've been to, obviously, I was born in the Western region. So and then Accra, Greater Accra region. I've been to Eastern region. I've been to Ibri long, long, long time ago. And then also um, Ashanti region. I've been to Kumasi. Um, yeah. So yeah, check out Candace channel. She's got great content about Ghana, living in Ghana, everything, the ins and outs of it. Um, so that's what's up. Yeah. So tonight, I just wanted to talk about Ghana, and Candid will be actually be a perfect person. I don't know if I could entice her to get on camera with me, but she'd be the perfect person to tell you about living in Ghana. Obviously, living here in the United States for so long, I've visited Ghana quite a few times within the last 20 years, and just visiting Ghana is a lot different than actually living there. So I don't really know what it would be like living in Ghana. I could only imagine, you know, from my youth. I can still remember living in Ghana when I was a child. Don't get it twisted. Things were hard. Things were tough, but I lived kind of in a comfortable environment. I don't know if Canada knows where Laboni area is, but Laboni is behind Osu, which is Oxford Street. Most people, if you've been to Ghana or know Accra at all, you know where Oxford Street is. So, and I actually went to a school that's not too far from Osu. So I used to walk, my skinny little legs from Laboni to that school and back home. Um, she said we'll see. Yeah, so yeah, I know, yeah. So living in Laboni was, pretty comfortable. Funny thing about it is some years ago I was working at this company, and this company had a few Ghanaians that worked there as well. And one guy that actually lived on the same street, or he said that he lived on the same street that I lived on. Maybe it was after I left Ghana, but nevertheless, he said he lived on the same street. And he was telling me that Laboni back then was considered like a well-to-do area. And as a child, I didn't know that we were living comfortably. I didn't know what was going on in other people's households, but I do remember that in the 80s when at the height of Rawlings' regime. If you don't know about Jerry John Rawlings, he was one of Ghana's most well-known presidents. He took over Ghana in the late 70s, during a military coup d'etat. So at the time, Ghana was having a rough economic time, and a lot of Ghanaians left and went to Nigeria to live in Nigeria because Nigeria's economy was booming. My mother actually happened to be one of them. My mother was a nurse at the time. God rest her soul. But yeah, she was a nurse and she went to live in Nigeria for a while. And she actually brought me with her to live with her for 1 year. So I lived in a small town called Oyo, where the Yoruba people, are from, Oyo town. So yeah, make sure that you like this content, share it with somebody else. Please do. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Um, but yeah, so here's the link frame. If you want to jump on, please do. And I appreciate it. I'd love to talk with you guys. So let me know. But yeah, so at the time, I was just a little boy, a little naive child, going to school. I went to a few different schools. There was a school in a place called Jolu, which was about, man, it was a good drive, about 45 minutes, I think. My aunt used to drive me there, and sometimes her friend would pick me up. And yeah, it was just a normal upbringing. I was blessed, that I lived pretty comfortably.
Oh wow, you put me right on up there.
I sure did. I mean, you invited yourself, so I had to
You
put you on a
invited.
spotlight. How you
How
doing?
are you? How you doing, King and on? I'm always so weary at the end of the work week, but you're one of my favorites. You won me for life.
Uh,
Told you in
I
the chat.
appreciate the
I
love.
told you in the chat. I told you in the comments. I told you in the email. Now I
Yeah.
get to tell you face to face
I,
because I meant what I said. I just feel like you guys play an important role for us as mediators, and you did that when no one was looking. That's what made it that's what made it valuable because it wasn't an audience. I don't think a
yeah.
lot of Black Americans was really paying attention to that program, but I saw it and I was like, who is that?
I
So anyway,
appreciate it.
yeah, so I'm coming to kick it with you for a few minutes. I don't like to be on stage too long.
Yeah, yeah. It's all good. How you been?
Uh, just holding the line, trying to get up
Yeah.
out of here. I don't really like it here. How do you like it? I mean, I know it's all you know since you've been here since you was
Uh,
adolescent, but and you got babies and a family and you're rooted.
yeah.
But
You know what? It's funny, and I actually shared my thoughts about exactly what you just asked me there. That what's like it's kind of like a love-hate relationship with America. Like I
hmm
don't I don't hate it, but to me, I'll
I
be
do.
honest, America is a great country. You might feel different about it, but I'm able to see America through this country through different eyes because I'm from somewhere else.
Well
Do you
then,
understand what I'm saying?
but you've been here long enough to know why we see it the way we see it.
Exactly. I've been here long enough to understand, but I
Mhm.
also have a different perspective. What's up,
Like,
Sudi? I also have a different perspective of this place because I'm from outside. I wasn't born here.
right.
Okay. So yeah, I'm always kind of torn about how I feel about that. How I feel about like, should I really appreciate this country as much as I should because of what it's given me and people like me who are from somewhere else? Or should I feel this kind of
We
like
built
agony?
it.
Say
We
again?
built it.
True,
Black
true.
blacks built. We were brought here to be the builders.
Servants. Yeah,
So I mean, but it just doesn't make it worth it when you're not treated like none of it's yours. I mean, you
I
you
get
know what
it.
I'm saying?
I get it.
So it's like that's why you see so many people like just forget, just walking away from everything. Like forget it. You can just take it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I really was enjoying you and the young man the other week when you were talking about the differences, the things that could be done in Ghana. I know he said, or you
Mm.
said, there's someone who wrote in about starting like a, I don't know, an immigration program for us to expat back.
I think that was Sudi. He's actually on here.
Oh, that
He's
was awesome. I love that. I was like, woo, why don't y'all get started? Because y'all,
yeah.
y'all need to go over there and help usher us back home.
Yeah, I mean, and this is just the beginning. What I'm doing right now is just the beginning of me.
Shout
I'm,
out to
I'm
Sudi. How do you say his name? Shout out to that young brother. I like that brother.
Sudi Amba.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah,
to Shu.
he's Congolese, and I actually had an interview with him
That's the one
today.
in Canada. Is that the one in Canada?
He lived in Canada, but he lives in England now.
Oh, okay. The
Yeah,
young man, right? This young man. Yeah.
um, I don't know how old he is, but
Well,
he's
he's young. He looked like he was my son. So
he's on here. I don't want to speak too much for him. He can get on here and speak for himself if he wants, but
no,
he.
I was the point I was making. I really was enjoying you all's dialogue, and just the different. It sounded like visions of infrastructure and things that you guys kind of could see would benefit
Mhm.
Ghana and things like that. I mean, I was all into that program, and
Yeah,
no, no, don't take away. I'm not trying to take away from the other guy from the east, but
sure, sure,
I kind
absolutely.
kind of fell off of when he got on there. But you guys were really making some valid points, I thought.
Yeah, it's just like I can feel it. I can feel like what we can do as Black people if we could really get together and kind of separate ourselves from that psychological
Mm,
impairment. But
yeah,
it's difficult. It's,
yeah,
it's really, really difficult because once you grow up a certain way, it's baked into you, and it's hard to separate yourself from that way
yeah,
of living and that way of thinking.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you all were even. Was that you guys? I watched so many programs, but all I watch is expat and African programs. But you were saying that once we start melding into one another into Africa, to be like a new kind of like a
Oh yeah.
hybrid, like a
Yeah.
hybrid. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
with the old. I thought that was. I could feel that vision in my soul
Right.
when you was
There
speaking
was
it.
a
I was
yeah, there was
like,
a brother on here that was saying that as more African Americans start to move to places like Ghana and other parts of Africa, of course, their descendants are going to be marrying Ghanaians or having kids with other Africans. And,
mm,
through that, there's going to be a different type of culture that,
yeah,
comes out of that, you know.
yeah.
And that's very true. I mean, that's happened historically,
Hmm.
it's happened in history. So, yeah, that's very true that that could happen,
Yeah,
So,
I
um,
could feel that vision in my soul. I'm like, yes, let it. So we speak it, so shall it be. I could
mhm,
live that world in that world. Also, remember my question I asked you earlier? You were
about,
saying I watched a video of yours when you were doing your trips to Ghana. You had a little series going, but one of them, well, maybe it was when you came back home. But you said if I move back to Ghana, I have a responsibility to my
oh yeah,
Ghanaian family back home. And I was
yeah,
like, what? What is
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Because
yeah. See, yeah,
you know how we think it's every man for himself out here,
mhm, mhm,
you sink or you swim here.
right,
So can you
right,
talk to me a little bit about that? Because I was interested in that. I wanted to kind of
absolutely.
feel like what that is and what is that responsibility you feel?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Africa is not like here, not like the Western Hemisphere, where people have access to, to be educated and to be more upwardly mobile. Okay. In Africa, I mean, yes, you have access to education, but you also have to pay for elementary school for the most part. Some people, not everybody's parents are able to afford to send their kids to the best schools. Okay. So you don't get an opportunity to go to university like a lot more people here in the States. And because of that, yeah, and even if you're able to go to university after you graduate, you're still not able to get jobs. There's so many
Mm,
Ghanaian students, Ghanaian graduates that went to
mm,
the best Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and Legon University in Accra. are the two best colleges, and they
Wow.
graduate so many young people who are not able to get jobs because the
Wow.
jobs are not there. The jobs
Yeah.
don't exist. It's so very, very difficult to get jobs in a place like Ghana. So because of that, people become they're not able to make a living,
Mm.
you know, and in my own family, yes, my some of my uncles and whatnot have been able to, through the grace of God, they've been able to make a living in whatever profession that I remember one of my uncles, um,
Now,
he
are
gave
these
me
uncles that lived in the US or they've just
no,
always been in
no,
Ghana?
in
Okay.
Ghana. Yeah, one of my
Oh,
uncles, he gave me his navy bomber jacket. That was the first time I ever wore a winter jacket, and that's the jacket that I wore to take the airplane to come to the States. He
wow.
worked he worked on a ship in the Gambia.
Mm.
So he used to go work on a boat for a few months and then come back. So that was his profession.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know how much money he was making from that. I mean, he obviously was making
Probably pretty
something.
lucrative for the time, or.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's wishful thinking when it comes to Africa. You're definitely not making as much as you would make here on a
Mm.
in a equivalent type of profession. You're definitely not.
I
So
see.
yeah, these are the types of different situations that we're put into. And I don't know if you're familiar with what remittances are, but okay.
Teach me.
So a remittance is most Africans send money home.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know the term, but I've every African I ever known because I've dated
Right.
African.
And
They all
that's
send
a
money.
yeah, that's a huge part of the economy in Africa is,
Yeah.
your relative that's gone over to the States, whether it's your child, whether it's your uncle, it could be your mom. We send money home to take care of, tuition fees, building a house, medical
Are you
expenses.
paying that now? Do you pay that now?
I'm not because my mother's passed away, and
Oh,
my aunt is taken care of by her son mostly because he lives here also.
okay.
So
Okay.
I mean we live in a family that's not I'm not gonna say we're well to do, but we're also not impoverished.
Yeah.
So we're okay. But that's not the situation for a lot of families in Ghana or in most parts of Africa. A lot of
So,
Africa is impoverished.
so you're
But
saying if you moved home, your families that are struggling, your bloodline that is there, you would have to take care of them.
not necessarily take care of them, but when it comes to something that they're not able to afford, they might look to me because I came from America and I have dollars. You know,
But
I I I
we live
made more money than them. So it'll be natural. And I wouldn't even be mad because this is my family, this is my blood.
well, yeah,
I couldn't turn them away,
yeah, of course,
because
of course.
yeah, these are my uncle used to cut my hair. The uncle that I was talking about, he used to cut my hair when I was little.
Right.
You know, I
Yeah.
couldn't I couldn't turn it wouldn't be in my heart to be able to turn him away if he needed something, you
I
know.
guess because I'm so westernized in my mind, I'm like,
Yeah,
but you got your own kids and your own wife and your own, you
exactly.
know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. But it's
That you,
completely different culture. It's
but
different
let me
culture.
tell you what I love about the African communities. And I don't know how it works in every country, obviously, but how they live in compounds, they kind of like everyone kind of stays in a community.
Hmm.
That that's so important. And believe it or not, my grandmother, my mother's mother, she had 15 siblings, and I don't know, they still had that from my great grandmother and them where they stuck together.
Hmm.
And it was a beautiful thing, but I can pretty much tell you since my the great grands or the great grand uncles and them or as they die off, everyone seems to be splintering. You see,
Mm. Yeah.
like the unity is not as cohesive as it was when the elders were alive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's American culture. It's kind of separates us because it's just the way the life you might get a job here, Seattle, Washington, and then your parents are living on the East Coast. You don't see them maybe just once a year, Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever. But in Ghana, it's a smaller country, obviously. Most people are not separated by distance like that. You grow up in one place and you pretty much stay in that place for the most part. It's
That's
there's
good
a
and bad. I can see good and bad on both sides, you see, because
yes,
I personally, when you're young and you're old and vulnerable, you want the people that you're closest to be there to kind of nest you. And you're not isolated. It's probably, hopefully, I mean, I'm sure it's depression everywhere, but I just feel like when you're by yourself, you're more subject to depression, isolation. You know what I mean? When you feel
yeah,
like you got to take on this whole big world by yourself,
yeah.
opposed
And
to
that's
having,
what happened. That's what happened with COVID last year when people weren't
yeah,
allowed to go out. Yeah, people felt like they were getting depressed and whatnot. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's serious, and the divorces, and it's just a lot. And so thank you for sharing that. I was wondering, I said, oh wow. I was like, even though he's been gone so long, he still feels that responsibility to
Yeah, yeah. I
everyone.
mean, I would. I mean, I don't feel it right now, obviously, because I'm not there. But once I get there and I said, I'm moving and staying there,
Yeah.
it's gonna eventually happen. I mean, I know
So
it's just
when are you going there and staying there? I'm about to pull out my passport and show you. I'm like, look, I'm getting ready. I got to go visit. I'm about to have my
you got
doctor or
your
somebody.
passport.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the $64,000 question for me. I mean, I say 5 years, but who knows?
I mean, but what do you think about the State of the Union? I'm concerned about this
Which
country,
union?
the United States.
Damn America.
Yeah,
Go black
I
holes in
mean,
damn
like
America.
our leadership, our presidential leadership is the weakest I have ever seen in
I don't
all of
I
my
don't
almost
I don't
50
trust
years.
I don't trust either
Don't,
party, man.
don't. I wouldn't
Yeah.
recommend anybody trust anything that ain't over here.
Mm.
Hold on. Bam.
Ooh, look at you. Look at you. Look at you.
So anyway, it
Hey,
would be nice. I feel better when I get a real stamp on it. But
don't
anyway,
don't front. That American passport holds weight. It can get you through a lot of
I keep
places.
hearing that. I keep
Yeah.
hearing that. I'm gonna have to
Nope.
test it up. I'm gonna
Don't
have
be
to
mad at America now.
look. We earned all of whatever we get. I'm the beneficiary of all my great 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 grandmama and grandmamas and aunties and all of they sweat,
Damn
blood, and
America.
tears. Sweat, blood, and I'm the beneficiary. And I'm also the one that's going to return the line back to the land. I
Mm,
intend to do that. And it's just like a soul goal of mine to return the line back to the land. So
yeah.
anyway, thank you, King. I don't know if I'm gonna stay. It's always
Hey,
good to see you. Keep up
likewise.
the good work. Keep
You're
up the
always
good work.
welcome.
I'm gonna keep watching because you haven't shaken my confidence in what you're able to bring to the table. So
Thank you.
keep up the
Thank you.
good work. All right,
Sure,
bye guys.
absolutely. All right. Take care. So yeah, thank you all for joining the live. If you want to jump on here and talk with me, please feel free. I'm a nice guy. I don't bite. Well, I try to be nice anyway. So Jay, if you want to jump on here, please do so we can talk. But if you don't, that's okay also. Can you speak to what marrying into the Ghanaian culture looks like? Ooh, okay. So marrying in African culture is different than here. It's kind of like how Indians married. I don't know if you know a little anything about Indian culture at all, but in Ghana, it's more like the families are marrying together. Okay, so historically, back in history, before we got colonized by so-called Great Britain, I don't know how great it was before they came and stole all our gold from the Ashantis, but yeah, so-called Great Britain. Yeah, so before we got colonized, with Ghanaian culture, we have what they now call engagement. That's what our marriage is. Okay, so it's a traditional marriage where every tribe is different. So I'm from the Akan tribe, and my wife, she's a Gan, so that's the Gan Adambes. They're the tribe from the Great Accra region. So when you let's say, for example, let's say you were a Ghanaian and you lived in Ghana and you're talking to this young man. He says he wants to marry you. Okay, so the young man's family and maybe his dad, his uncle would go over to the house of your family and speak to your father and say, "Oh, we have this young man that wants to marry your daughter, and you have to bring some gifts." Usually it could be gin, some type of alcohol. Just bring it over to them as a sign of respect. That yeah, we want to marry you, and then your family would talk about it. They will tell the young man's family that okay, we will let you know. It all depends on your status in society, and all that is looked into. So we'll let you know. They talk about it for a little while, and then eventually they'll let you know that okay, you can come marry our daughter. Because if you're marrying, if they're marrying you, they're basically taking um, the woman a prized possession, because woman is a prized possession, not really a possession per se, but it's a prize. Just like in any society, um, woman is a prize. Um, Hang on, let me unmute this young lady over here, and I can continue. What am I doing? Okay, she's unmuted. Yeah, so that's how it is. And then, eventually the your family would give a list. So that whole process is actually called knocking, because back in the day and historically, you would go knock on the woman's family's door. So that process is called knocking. And then they'll give you a list. I had to do this actually. It took a while, but I had to do this. So that's why I know this. And before I had to do it, I didn't know anything about this. So it was quite a cultural shock when I saw the list of different things that I had to bring. Sometimes it's cloth, it's it's drinks like soda. The family could ask for jewelry. It just depends. Sometimes it could be a long list, it could be a short list, depending on the family. They could ask for a whole bunch of things, depending on your status in life. On the man's status. Hi, Latoya. How you doing? Thank
Hi.
you for joining the live.
Thank you. Am I on? I never.
Yeah, yeah, you on? I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I can
I've
hear
never
you.
done this before. Can you hear me?
I can. You're
Oh, okay.
coming in loud and clear.
Okay.
So yeah, and then once you present all those items to your family, then they'll be like, okay, so this person is serious. They want to marry our daughter. They want to take away our daughter from us. And then after that, you go into the engagement. They'll set a date for the engagement, which is more like a traditional wedding. Okay, is that you don't wear the suit and the white dress. That's a European Western Hemisphere style wedding. So right now, most people in Ghana, they do two different weddings. They do the traditional one, and then they do the European one. Some people, if they're not well-to-do, they might just do the engagement, which is the traditional one. So that's more or less a breakdown of how weddings work in Ghana. Getting married and all that. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal for it, because it for the men, it's kind of like a presentation of how you're honoring the family of the woman. So you gotta come correct as the man. Yeah. So hi, Latoya.
Hi. Hi. I just
Good to
want to
meet you.
speak on that. I love to see the traditional weddings. The African weddings. I'm kind of disappointed when I see like the American weddings with the white gown and stuff like that. I'm just like, what is like? Why do you need to do that? You know, I don't see why that's necessary because I just love the whole traditional
Yeah.
thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all started through colonization. You know,
Yeah,
the British came over and just imposed their will on us, and we also took it. You know, but yeah, but it happened to Black people all over the world.
yeah,
So
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I just wanted to come on here. I don't I haven't had a chance to really like look at like all your videos and stuff, and so I try to catch you. Like I see you on the African page on on the page and stuff, and so I try. And lately things have been so crazy for me that I have kind of been all over the place. But I sure have been wanting to like watch more of your videos and see what you're talking about. Hey, Sudi. And see like what you're talking about, because I do like what you're saying on the page, on the page that we're all on, and to
in
really
the
get into
Facebook group.
these, exactly, and to these to have these conversations is just so important for us
Mhm.
because there's so much going on with us that we need to have these conversations, and especially the hard ones, that we don't really want to talk about, and that's really keeping us divided, you know, because I have conversations with even my family members about, why do you want to go to Africa? And, they chop your head off in Africa and all these different things. Yeah, my sister just said that, the
Wow.
other day. And I'm just like, where are you getting this stuff from? And she watched all these TV shows about people going to different countries and stuff, and how they get put in jail, and they get, they get they get stuff put in their drinks and all kind of stuff. And she's like, I want you to watch this
You need to
movie.
stop
And
watching those
I'm
shows.
not watching those movies.
I want to cut in. I'm just saying, I'm not going to say that she ain't lying because that stuff do be happening though. You got to be smart
It
about it.
does. Yeah, stuff like that happens all over the world, though.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, things happen, everywhere. Anything can happen anywhere. It's evil people everywhere,
Mhm.
So we can't also allow fear to stop us from doing things that we want to do. We just have to be careful and be smart about the things that we do, and make sure if we're going to another country or continent or wherever we going, that we know somebody there, and we have somebody on the other side that can help us, or somebody that's going with us that have some type of knowledge about where we're going, you know but I think just so many of us are just so afraid of Africa, and haven't really given it a chance, or don't know enough, and aren't out there looking for information, and and trying to know. It's like like I said, I have family members that is just like so against it, don't even want to hear certain things about it, because their mind is set in things, and and
Mhm.
it makes it tough when you have family members like that, because they looking at you like, what is wrong with you, like what are you thinking? And so you can't even share things with them because they so against,
Mhm.
and then they can deter you, or have you fearful for doing stuff and pointing out all these things. And I'm like, it's
Well,
already
Latoya,
uh
guess what? I'm glad you found your tribe because now you know that there are other people out there just like you, right?
yeah,
You're
yeah,
not alone.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, that is good to have that support, because if you do only listen to those things, then you won't do it.
Mhm.
You'll just be like, no, you'll be too fearful. So it's so important for us to have people that that we can talk to. And again, like meeting Sudi and meeting other people, and like you, and like I have my brothers and sisters in Africa that I can contact, and I can ask them stuff like, what is this, and how to do this and everything, to reach out to, that can help you and guide you.
Have
Is
you?
so
So
important.
you haven't been before, right?
I haven't been before.
When are you going?
I'm planning on going. I'm planning on going. It's a lot that goes into, even a reason that I want to go. It's so much I want to do and everything. And then there's things here that's going on that, it's kind of, that I have to be strategic in when I go, and, you know, and
Mm.
all those things. But yeah, and it's crazy because I talk about Africa like I have been there, and because I am so in love with Africa, and I've never even been there
It
before.
loves you back. It loves you back.
You know, and I feel the same way. I forgot her name, but I just have grown such a, I hate to say hatred for America. It's just like you just, when your eyes start to open, you just start to see
Anna.
things that you never saw before. You know, you
Yeah.
never paid attention to things. And
Yeah.
then me learning more about Africa and what's going on and what, you know, the states are doing, what America is doing to Africa and stuff like, and it's just like those are my people, like really, like, and then that hurts you when I see things and I know things are going on with our people, and you know this country is doing it to it, then it makes you feel some type of way. That's just like even in your family, if
Yeah.
somebody's doing something, hurting somebody in your family, you're gonna have a problem with it, you
Some
know.
some people are not awake, they're just not awake
Yeah.
and will never wake up. It's rather unfortunate, but that's just the way. You gotta let people be who they are, because
Yeah.
yeah, some people will never change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jewel, she lives in Ghana right now. I mean, she's in the States, so what do you got to say?
Yeah, I hope my internet is okay, right?
Yeah,
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 can you hear me?
it's good.
So, Latoya, let me tell
Okay.
you, when I moved to Ghana, I didn't tell anybody. I told my mom, I told my family, but I didn't tell anybody because I was worried about that. I can get very paranoid at times, so I don't need nobody trying to like, tell me about people cutting my head off. You know what I mean? All these different things. I don't need that negativity. My mind was basically made up. So I knew that if I were to tell people, especially because, like you said, people are so scared of Africa in general.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell nobody, okay? Even when you decide to come and visit, don't tell nobody. Share the pictures while you're here, okay? Because they will deter you and put these doubts and thoughts in your mind, right? But I also want to piggyback off of what you said earlier. Some of those things do happen, like, and it shocked me when I got here because Ghana is a very spiritual country. It's very religious, but it also has a lot of spirituality that goes on as well that I wasn't aware of. Same thing with the drink. You gotta be careful about where you drink at, where you eat at. You know what I mean? But those are things that I feel like I never had to like think about. Living in the States, but living in Ghana, you gotta be. You know what I mean? Because um, I'm like at bars. I don't want to name my bar I went to. They use like fake alcohol. You know what I mean? Things like that. It's kind of like I don't drink out. I make sure that I get tipsy, get turned up before I go out. If they open that bottle in front of me, I'm not drinking it. Even like street food, you gotta be careful when eat the street food. Now my
Yeah,
candy jewels, I would tell you like it is, okay? But I've heard that kebabs on the street they pretty tasty, but you don't
yeah.
really know what you're
Even
eating.
even for me, when I visit Ghana, I'm not gonna eat everywhere because my internal system has gotten acclimated to America. So if I go to Ghana, I tell you the first time I went to Ghana, I visited Ghana, I almost had malaria. I thought I had malaria. It was a bad diarrhea, but I thought I had malaria because I went and ate somewhere outside. I went and ate some kebab outside, you know. And I said when I go to Ghana, I'm gonna eat some kelewele on the street. I always said that. You know how good kelewele is. So yeah, you gotta kind of ease yourself into the culture. The first time that you get there. Don't try to go, wild doing this and that. You got to just ease yourself. And then eventually, as you keep going, you get used to things. So, but yeah, just take, just do it. Just do it. Once you get there, you'll have a renewed sense of yourself, a sense of yourself and your identity. You'll get to understand yourself a lot better also once
Yes,
you're in Africa.
for sure.
You'll
And you
get
said
to
it right.
you
Like,
being in
yeah,
Africa is like seeing a mirror of yourself. You know, you get to understand why you are who you are. Why you've had failures and successes in life in your life as you're coming up. Because Africa is the source. It's where everything started. you know. So you'll get to see yourself there. Can't hear you.
I think I'm mute. I think she's on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute, I think. You muted yourself.
But while she comes back, I wanted to mention what Sudie said. I definitely
Okay,
feel
can you?
relieved and refreshed for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's how I feel. I feel like our spirits, like the African Americans here in the States, and even probably, I can only speak for us here. I feel like our spirits is really yearning and calling for Africa. I think we really like, because that's home. And I think that's why so many people that go there feel that, and they get so emotional and they feel so connected. And I feel like that's what it's like, our spirits are calling us home. It's calling us to Africa. Like, it's just that connection and everything. And that is also why, I'm so excited about being able to go, because I want to experience that. And I feel like it is, I love that spirituality that's there, and that
yeah,
connection and that community. And I just feel like that's so lost here. We
yeah,
are so disconnected here. And like you were talking about earlier, how family is not, and I posted something on the Facebook page about that, how families are so disconnected. And there's a lot of distrust, and we barely speak to our family members. And it's so sad because there's so much drama and so much chaos going on in our families. And I had to even disconnect from my family because of, I didn't want my children, to continue these whole, this cycle of what's going on, and it's like you have to save yourself and you have to save your children from all of, you don't want them continuing this going on.
yeah,
And I had to experience that just, these last few weeks. And I'm like, this is why I had to step away, because you see, it's like after you pull yourself away and then you go back into it, it's like all of that just, hit you in the face. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is what our people are doing to each other. The disrespect toward each other, not treating each other like humans, like, just not knowing how to speak to each other. And this is what's happening with our people. We don't have good communication with each other. We don't have that trust, and it's really keeping us from working together, for coming together and all of that, and it's just so many things in Africa that I feel that we here in the States and in diaspora can benefit from.
hmm yeah, absolutely. Your spirit will feel more aligned with being in Africa. I mean, that's just more of a general statement. It's not for everybody. There's some people that are way too Americanized, or so Americanized that they will probably never like Africa. And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. Not everybody will survive in that type of environment. But some will. I always say some will, some won't. So what next? Just keep it moving. You know,
I question myself sometimes.
whether you can make
I
it.
do.
It's
What
normal.
you say?
I feel like I
What you
maybe
say?
it's an adjustment. I feel like sometimes, like, is this for me? Because things I thought were easy to get settled. Uh-uh, uh-uh.
Yeah,
But I feel like I need to be here, so that's what's keeping me here. Regardless of all the BS that I go through, I know I belong in God, in Africa.
yeah.
So
You got
yeah.
to have what Americans call that stick-to-itiveness to make it in Africa. Yeah, you got to be able to persevere and be determined. Like if you want to live there in Ghana or in the most parts of Africa, because the simple conveniences that you have here are just not there. See, Africa, things happen on a slow grind, like I was saying earlier. So like something like, for example, Amazon, ordering something and be on your doorstep in 2 days. They don't. There's something similar, as I think it's called Jumia. So there's something similar there, but she said it ain't the same. Yeah, just a simple convenience like that. You know, everything that you can get here for the most part, you can get in Ghana, but it just doesn't work the same way. You know, it's just that convenience of how fast that we've been conditioned and programmed to get things just like that. You know, it doesn't work the same way.
Okay, and I've also heard that as far as work ethics, how people work, and people work slower, or they come in at any time, they don't like have a set time that they,
Hmm.
they might come 3 hours later or something like that. And isn't that something? Because you know when I look at some of the things that's in Africa, I'm like, okay, just because it's African ways of doing things, is it right? We probably need to improve on some things. We need to change some things. I know some people say, well, just kind of get on board because it's Africa. But at the same time, if we want to be excellent like other countries, then we have to step up our game and not just say that this is what it is and we just have to deal with it. I don't think that we should just settle for this is the way it is. We need to, get it together. And if we want to compete, we need to be able to, do the things and take ourselves to a higher level. It's like,
Mm.
it's hard for me to just accept, certain things when I know that we can do so much better and we're greater than that. So it's
Yeah.
some things that need to just really work on and change and stop saying this is Africa and this is the ways that we can just do better.
Mm. There's truth in what you're saying. There's a lot of truth in what you're saying, but I can only speak for Ghana, for example. The way of doing things, it's so baked into Ghanaian culture that is like so difficult. Like if you went to Ghana with just like what you're talking about, that type of mentality, and say, I'm established, for example, I'm establishing a business and I want to change the way um the like different facets of my business might need. For example, a vendor arriving to deliver a service at a certain time. I want to change that portion of my business. It's going to be really difficult to work with that person because the culture is just different. It's just different. Like, like for example, somebody trying to meet you at a certain location, like you have some type of business that you want to discuss, and they want to meet you at a certain location. You're saying that, okay, we're gonna meet here at this time of the day at 1 p.m. Right? That person might be coming from another part of town and might be taking a trotro, which is the local transportation, kind of like bus transportation. So they get on that trotro bus to meet you at that certain time. But that driver might stop to do something completely unrelated to his function of driving passengers to that place. Or the trotro uh, van might break down. And that person that's supposed to meet you, it's completely out of his control. That's just one example of a myriad of things that could happen on any day in Accra. And I'm sure Jewel can vouch for it. It's not fair, but it happens in places in Africa because there's so many different things. I mean, I'm always, when I'm out and about here in the United States, I'm always comparing here where I live to a place like Ghana. Just the ease of like doing things, the order, of driving through traffic lights. I mean, yeah, we got traffic lights in Accra, but it's just the order is just not there. It's just not there. So it's not, yes, ideally, we want things to work. Most people, I think most sensible people in Accra, in Ghana, want things to work the way that they should work to make things just function. But the culture is just baked so much into people's psyche that it makes it really difficult. So when you go there and you say that, oh, I want to change things, it can really frustrate you, and you end up quitting on yourself and say, you know what, I'm gonna hightail it back to America, even though I know, there's racism and all that. At least I know how things work there, and I can be comfortable. I hope that makes sense. What I just
Yeah.
explained. Yeah. So ideally, of course, we all want to go to Ghana and try to change things with our with our Americanness, we know, hey, we know we're Americans. We know we can do better. You can help you do better here in Ghana, but they're not going to listen to you.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it's sad. And
I
I'm
didn't
not
say
trying to
nothing.
deter you. I'm not trying to
No,
deter
no,
you at all.
it's
No,
real. You're
but
being real.
I'm just trying to give you the reality.
I'm so sorry. I have to jump in because I know you're Ghanaian. I'm good, thank you. I know you're Ghanaian, so you're gonna stick up for your people, and I respect that, okay? But I feel like if the church was late, you could at least pick up the phone and communicate. So that's a start, you know. I understand transportation, you know, is out of your control. But if you pick up the phone, you can at least communicate. And I feel like that's the first step.
Yes.
Hey, I'm running late. I can't even get that.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're right.
You know?
You're right. You're right. I'll give you another example. I'll give you another example once you're finished. Go ahead. What you eating over there?
That's all I was gonna say because that's the thing. I'm over here at Fridays. I got some salmon, broccoli, and my potatoes.
Send me some.
I'm gonna finish
Listen,
this. You know, I can't get this in Ghana. I can't get it in Ghana, but I can't get the Fridays salmon
uh,
in Ghana.
listen. Latoya, I'll give you another example. I was in Ghana the last time I was in Ghana, right? My cousin who also lives here in the United States. You know, we're both there on the holiday, and he was installing cable TV in his house, his mother's house. So we're waiting, we're sitting there waiting for the cable repair person to come get there at a certain time. And we're sitting there waiting 1 hour, he hadn't shown up. 2 hours, he hadn't shown up. 3 hours, he hadn't shown up. On the fourth hour, he shows up and we're like, what? I mean, what's going on? Why are you late? He said, oh, I had this thing with my wife, she, something happened. I had to take care of it. Do you think something like that will happen with Comcast? The Comcast repairman shows up and he's
Right.
giving you an excuse about his wife? No,
Right.
it's and they think it's acceptable because people in Ghana have been conditioned to accept that type of behavior. And part of the reason why is we don't think that much of ourselves. Like we don't think that we deserve better. Is
Mm.
this psychological conditioning? And that's part of the reason why I started this channel because I want to be able to kind of relate to Black folk here, why Africans are the way they are and why the conditions in Africa still persist.
Mm.
We're suffering from a mental anguish. The way African Americans here are suffering from a mental anguish during slavery, colonialism has done the same to us in Africa.
Mm.
You know, we don't. It's sad to say, and I feel even some type of way right now saying this. Like I feel like shivers through my body, but it's sad the plight of Black people around the world. It's yeah, yeah,
Mm.
it's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
definitely it's definitely we have a lot of work. We
we
have a
do,
lot
we do,
to do.
and it starts by each person working on themselves. We
Right.
we
That's
can't
true.
all say, oh, we're all gonna work together to solve our problems. You can only solve your problem. If you work on yourself, and I've had to do, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've had to do a lot of work on myself
Me
over
too.
the last few years. Yeah, because I've made a lot of mistakes in my life,
Hmm.
and at some point I had to look in the mirror and like you got to work on you. You can't try to change anybody else. You can only change you. you
Exactly.
know, because your environment and everything happening in your environment is a complete reflection of you and what's going on up here.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So unless we change our mentality, Africans, Black people, unless we change our mentality, we can never fix anything. We can't fix our environment. We can only fix what's up here. That's what's stopping us.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And a lot of us don't even I feel like we act like we don't have problems. Like we think we cool,
we
you
got a
know.
lot of problems.
We have a lot of problems, and it's also a lot of us who don't want to deal with the issues, because
Mhm.
it's not easy. Like you said, I had to
Yeah.
deal with myself, and I had to see things that I didn't want to see,
Yep.
and had to face those things and change them. And it's like, that's hard. And when you start digging in there and dealing with that stuff, it is not fun.
Yeah.
And, a lot of us do not want to do that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, we don't think about like the benefits and how much further we can go once we start
Absolutely.
doing it, Yeah.
Absolutely. Most
Yeah.
people do not sit with themselves and know themselves. Most people don't know who they are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Most people do
Right.
not know who they are. You know,
They
they,
That is so crazy. That is so
yeah.
crazy because I know who I was. I was doing things, and everything I was doing because other people wanted me to do. This is the person that other people wanted me to be, until I was so unhappy and I was so depressed and everything. And I'm just like, I don't even want to do these things, but I'm doing it
Mm,
because this is what society say I'm supposed to
right.
do, and I'm supposed to dress, and I'm supposed to look, and how I'm supposed to speak, and all these things. And so
Mm,
I was just like, I gotta be me, and just
yeah.
really shedding all the like the American ways, just shedding. And that's what I've been doing throughout the years, just really shedding all of these things, and stop caring so much about what people think about me, what they have to say about me, and things like that, and just truly like being ourselves. And there's so many of us that's doing that, that's living for other people, and
Yeah.
don't even know that that's what you're doing, because
Yeah.
this is how you grew up and you want to fit in. Nobody
Yeah.
want to stand out, and, just
Yeah.
be themselves, because everybody want to be liked. You want to
Yeah.
be liked, you want to be accepted.
This might sound crazy to say, but if you ask somebody like, who are you? They're gonna tell you their name. But your name is not who you are.
Hmm.
It's your name. Just like your hand is not who you are. Your hand is not you. Your hand is a part of you, just like your name is a part of you. That's why they call it your hand, because it's your possession, but it's not who you are. Your name is not, it's just a label that somebody gave you, your parents gave you. But it's
Right.
you don't come into this world with a name. You
Right.
came into this world as a human being, as a spirit, but
Exactly.
obviously, yeah, you're in human form. So yeah, that's a
Right.
lot. That's a lot of work that we have to do, on ourselves. But not
Yeah.
everybody is going to be able to, is even open to working on themselves, because it's hard. It's hard work when you have
It
to
is.
look in the mirror and see like why you're fucking up. Excuse my
Mhm.
language, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
real. Yeah. So Africa's waiting for you, Latoya. Don't
I know, and I can't
don't
wait
let
to. I
don't let
really
America and your family get in the way.
I'm not. I'm not. I am determined. And, I am a big follower of God. And so I have to go when it's time, because it's going to be the appropriate time, the right time for me to go, because so that's what I'm really waiting for, just when I get the go ahead to go, because I want to do it right, because that's a big step, you know, that's a big step, and I want to do it right, and I want to make sure that I am in alignment, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going for the right reasons, and I'm, doing what I'm supposed to do when I'm there, you know.
Yeah,
So I am definitely going, and I know, that's something that I am called to do. So
for sure.
I am coming. I really want to be in visit Ghana and Nigeria. Those are the two
Okay.
places that I really want to go. So far, I want to go travel all over Africa, but those are the two that's really on my heart right now.
Those are two great choices. I've lived in both, so
Really?
two great choices. Yeah, I lived in Nigeria for a year when I was about 7 with my mother. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Latoya, have you taken your ancestry DNA test at all?
I have not. I haven't done it yet. Have you done yours?
I haven't to is Liberian. Both my parents are Liberian, but I would suggest you take it. I think that also would allow you to have like another place to visit, in Africa.
Yeah.
If you
That's a
come to
good point.
Ghana, I would feel like you might as well go to, another country because you're already across the water.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely planning on doing that. Because I would like to know. That's something I think we all, as you know, as Africans, we should know.
Mm,
Where we, where we're from and everything. I know a lot of people, they get it, and then they find out where they're from, and then that's where they move. But I know I want to just find out. I don't think that will determine where I will move, but I would like to find out and would like to visit, wherever
yeah.
that is.
I
Yeah.
was I was thinking about that this week. Like I don't know what that would be like, not knowing. I mean, of course, you know that you're American and your ancestors were enslaved, but apart from that, there's a broken link. So if I was actually truly African American, I mean, if I was born here in the United States, as an American descendant of the enslaved, I don't know what that would be like, not knowing, like,
It's
where am
crazy.
I? Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy and it's so sad. You know, it's so sad that we have that huge disconnection,
Hmm.
from Africa. And I was just telling somebody, I was like, and don't even have the desire. So many of us don't even have the desire. So I was just telling somebody that I knew somebody. Well, I work with two young ladies, and one of them was from Turkey, and the other one was Hmong. And so they would, talk about and dress in, like the one from Hmong. She was Hmong, and she, would dress in her traditional clothing and stuff like that on her Facebook page, and show
Hmm.
all the things that they did and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's cool, and everything. And then the other one, from Turkey, like she would visit from time to time, and she wanted to learn a language, and everything, because she was born here. So
Hmm.
she wanted to learn a language, and she would make the different dishes that they, traditionally made there. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I thought about it just probably a month ago, how I never, I didn't know anything about Africa. And I never
Hmm.
had the desire to do it. And if they had asked me anything about Africa, I wouldn't have been able to tell them. And I
Hmm.
was so embarrassed at that moment. I was
Yeah.
like, they are so into, where they came from, and, their traditions and their cultures and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
me, I know nothing about where I come from. And it was just so sad at that moment. I was just like, oh my goodness. Like, and it made me even sadder because there's so many of us like that. We know nothing about ourselves, who we, where we come from, and just again don't have that desire to even know, and to even think so negative about our continent and our people, and to talk down about our people and things like that. Like, that
Yeah.
is just, that hurts my feelings. It really just, it's so hurtful, and it's so disappointing. And and yeah, and that's why I was like, well, my grandkids, like all my kids are adults now, and I was like, there is no way my grandkids gonna come in this world and won't know about
Hmm.
Africa, and their people, and know the culture and stuff, because it can't continue. It
Right.
just can't keep happening.
Exactly.
Being it,
Yeah.
it's like we have to stop it at some point.
Yeah. Because the more it continues, the more disconnected, your descendants are gonna be, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's almost like not knowing who your mother is, because
Right.
you don't know the continent, like you don't know where your ancestors are from. And I know, some African Americans don't want to admit that they are from Africa,
Mm.
and I actually learned this like a few months ago that I'm not sure if you're familiar with who King Mansa Musa is from Mali. He was supposedly he was a king in Mali during the I think the 12th century, and he was the richest man at that time, and some say he's been the richest man all time in the history of the world. I mean, this man had gold. He had a large kingdom, and they said when he traveled to, I think he traveled to Egypt from Mali. Mali is kind of like in the Western Africa area. So when he traveled from Mali to Egypt, the economy of his kingdom sunk because he took all his gold and like almost everybody with him.
Mm.
And so at some point they said that he actually they had ships at that time, and he had a younger brother who he sent on a voyage from the Atlantic Ocean to come to America at that time, to the New World. So they said some of them stayed here. So I guess that's what some African Americans are saying, that there were black people here before the enslaved. Before, I didn't believe them. I
Mhm.
thought they just didn't want to admit that they were from Africa. So you might want to look into this, but I didn't believe him until I found out about that story. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe they might have a valid point that that actually happened, because some of them married the American Indians who were here at the time,
Mhm.
many, many centuries ago, and, ended up in South America. So there's a lot of history that we don't know, that we
Yeah.
weren't told in, our history books. We only got a short portion of history,
Right.
and they made us think that Africa, our history started with slavery, and it's not true. There were
Right.
kingdoms in Africa, and yeah, so much rich history.
Right. Right. It's so much history, and then it's so much wrong stuff like things that
This
are
education.
so it's almost like, what do I believe? Sometimes you just like, what do I believe? 'Cause it's so many different stories, and it's so
Yeah,
much, that you just like, how do you just keep up and know what to believe and what not to
yeah.
believe, you know?
You gotta seek the knowledge for yourself and use your own discernment. You know, yeah. You seem like a sharp lady. I mean, you got to use your own discernment. Like, is this the one that I'm gonna believe it? Is that, because obviously the internet, there's so much information
Right.
out there. You just got to sift through and, think,
What the back said,
figure
you
out.
gotta use your own discernment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because yeah, I'm new to this. It's only been like I've only really diving into it. I mean, it probably was like 4 years ago that I really started to have the desire, and like my heart started, really started to move towards Africa and stuff. And then when George Floyd was killed, that's when it was just like everything just clicked.
Mm.
It was just like full force because I was like,
And the fact that that orange fool was in the White House, of course.
right, right. So it was just like everything just changed after that, and just really seeing, like, it's like my eyes just really opened to so many different things, when it's crazy that I could look at things on TV and it was just like you feel sad about it, but then you just move on with your life, you know?
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
so many of it. And now I'm just like, oh my God, like that's where
Yeah.
my
And
head
that's
and so many of our heads are. We just go on with our life.
that's not okay. I remember years ago, and I'll let you speak right after I make this point. I remember years ago there was an aunt of mine. Actually, she's a cousin who came to live at that time. I lived with my parents in Massachusetts, so she was in Europe for a while, and she came over to the United States to live with us. And she they older people, they watch the news. I wasn't really into the news back then, but they used to watch the news a lot, and there was always crime, black people getting killed, and all types of stuff. And she would be like, "Why is this normal to you guys?" And at that point, I'd be like, "Oh, I mean, it's crime. This America. Crime happens all the time, but it's really not normal
It's not
for yeah for you to see a human being just killed on TV. They report it, and then you just move on with your life.
right.
It's not. That's not
Right.
normal. It's not good for your mindset.
We have
That's why I
no
don't watch the news.
right.
I don't. Yeah, I don't watch the news because it's too much for me. I
Mm-hmm.
don't I don't need to know that somebody's getting killed, stabbed, robbed every single night.
Right.
No, that's not what I want to know.
We have become so desensitized with so many things here in the States that this stuff is normal. And even just a lot of stuff that they putting out there, that it has become normal, normal. And our people are just, right there in the middle of it. And we're just starting to accept these things, that this is what it is, when it's really like really harming us,
Yeah.
really harming us, and we're not seeing it. And I try to even talk to my kids about certain things, and it's just like trying to change even their mindsets and try to get them to see and to just, open their eyes to see like these things that are happening. Like the states is so disgusting, and so many things that's going on in this country that it's like anything goes. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah here, and it's and it's so disgusting, and it's like I said, it's anything goes, and we have just adjusted to it. Like this is,
Yeah.
this is what it is, and it's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad that we have just accepted that this is what it is.
Yeah. Jewel, you got anything to say? She's over there grubbing.
Right.
I am. I really am. I don't know if I have anything to say in the
You don't have a good signal.
asking the question about
She doesn't have good reception. Anybody else want to come speak? Please feel free. Feel free to join the chat. We're having a good conversation here tonight. Yeah, but I mean tonight I just wanted to talk about, possibly living in Ghana one day, what that would look like for me and anybody else who ever thought about moving to Africa. Yeah, it's just a different type of lifestyle. I mean, you don't depending on where you live. Okay, there's some parts of Ghana that are really very, very convenient. There's some neighborhoods that if you drive through, you're gonna think that you're in Buckhead, Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the huge mansions. There are people that drive Bentleys, that drive Porsches. There's some people that are really, really living good, and then there's some people that are very impoverished. Okay, there's no really middle class.
Really?
It's not. Yeah, the middle class there is very minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you either got it.
Forth? Are you like, what is your status? You're back and forth, or what is?
No, I actually haven't been to Ghana since the end of 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, God willing, I'll be going next year. The whole COVID situation put
Yeah.
everything in. I wanted to go this year, but yeah, it didn't happen. So yeah, next year, hopefully, God willing, pray for me. I'll be I'll be over there because yeah,
We'll pray for each other.
I miss Ghana so much. I mean, my
Wow.
family's there. Just being around your family. I mean, even if you don't get along with your family, just being around them, it makes you feel at home.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have a friend in Ghana like that I talk to frequently, and he wants to come here so bad. He just wants, and I don't even know what to say. At first I was like, don't come here. You don't want to come here. This is not where you want to be and everything. But in the end, I have to understand like what he's experiencing, what he's, going through and everything, and why he will have the mindset of I want to leave, like I want to leave. So
Ghana
so many things that it's
can be
so many
hard.
things, huh?
Ghana can be hard.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can be really difficult if you don't have money, if you don't have a job, if you don't have a way of getting money consistently.
Right.
It can be real hard. It
Yeah.
can be really difficult. So, and that's why so many people want to leave,
Yeah.
because see, here in America, at least if you have a job, let's say you've been making like $10 an hour, depending on where you live, you can probably get some small apartment for you to live in, take care of yourself, your needs, and just do your own thing. You
Yeah.
know, you can take the bus to get to work. The bus is going to be consistent. It's not going to break down somewhere, and you're not going to be late to work. You know, yeah. So at least here, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
But in Ghana, there's so many variables. You know, I feel like I'm kind of down in Ghana right now, but I'm just trying to speak the truth.
Right. Right.
Africa, there's so many variables that could get in your way of actually trying to accomplish something.
Right.
And ever since I've lived here in the States, my father, who's lived here a lot longer than me, he's told me of his friends who tried to move to Ghana for good and ended up coming back to the America because they just couldn't make it, you
Right.
know. So it's really difficult. You got to have the mentality like, if you want to move to Ghana and just live there, like this is it. I don't care what happens. I'm either gonna sink or swim, you
Right.
know. And even for me, like it's difficult for me to like imagine myself living there and like not want to come back to the States.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's difficult. It's difficult. I think about it all the time because I've lived here for 31 years. Is America is pretty much all I know. I know Ghana, of course, because it's my home, and I've been going back there over the last few years. But I've gotten so accustomed to the American way of living that me and my cousin who's he lives here in the States. I spoke to him today. He just came back from Ghana. We talk about it all the time, and he says, "Oh, you'll be good, you'll be good." But I tell him, even for him, he's lived here about 15 years or whatever. Like it's gonna be an adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when I first came here as a child, it was an adjustment for me. And I'm gonna talk about this in a video I'm gonna upload soon. So stay tuned for that. But I talk about the fact that when I first came here to the States, I didn't know about the transatlantic slave trade. I didn't know nothing about it
Mm-hmm.
until sitting in class in social studies class in the 7th grade. I opened up a textbook and I saw pictures of the lynchings and the dehumanizing pictures of the enslaved. It was a shock. It was a complete shock to my system. I went home that day after school and cried, sat in my room and
Mm-hmm.
cried
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because I didn't know that human beings could be that, like dehumanize other human beings. I
Right.
mean, I was a naive 12-year-old at the time, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And funny thing about it is the slave dungeons there in Cape Coast, where I was born in Accra, where I moved, I was moved to when I was 4. It's just right smack dab in the middle of that journey, going back and forth. And I used to look at that building, sitting in my aunt's car. I used to look at those buildings every single time and did not know what went on over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's something that I learned that, that is Native Africans that don't know our story. You know,
No.
yeah. And that's what I told my sister. She was like, even my niece was like, they don't like us and everything. And, my sister, she said the same thing. And I was like, for one, look at how we talk about them. Like it goes both
Yeah.
ways. It goes both ways. And I was like, and some of them don't even know our story.
Guess where our education came from? The
Right,
white man.
right, right.
So if we're educated by somebody that doesn't really have anything good for us, how are we going to turn out the way that we turned out? There's no other way that we're going to turn out but have that dislike for each other because they wanted us separated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
what are they doing now in our baby schools? They trying to keep them from learning about, they going even further. They're already not teaching, didn't teach us, or we barely learned anything. Now they're really, trying to
Yeah.
keep all of that out. So just imagine our
Mhm.
kids coming up, how even less they will know if we don't teach our kids at home. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Hey, Jewel, this is a question for you. Look at the screen. That's your specialty right there.
I don't know anything about this. The
Uh-uh.
streets don't display prices on their items. I don't know if the government can even.
Look,
I don't think the government cares.
that's a question I cannot answer for
I
you.
don't think they.
Like, why Ghana government can't force the street sellers? They can't even make them stop selling on the street. You know?
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's signs everywhere that say no hawking. I didn't even know that meant. At the toll booth,
Yeah.
Timber toll booth, there's a sign that tells them not to be there.
It's
And I'm
it's
sure
our
the
culture,
government people
man.
are buying from them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. It's
I want to say this before my phone dies, if you don't mind. Toya, you ever talked before my Wi-Fi was ever crazy. y'all were talking about middle class, right?
Hmm.
I feel like there is a middle class, but I would say that diaspora is the middle class. The people that have
Mm.
moved out of whatever country they came from to Ghana,
Yeah.
I would say they're middle class. I would say I'm middle class because I still make the U.S. dollar. I work in this
Look at
thing.
you, Miss Middle
I'm chilling.
Class.
Listen, but the Ghanaians are high class, okay?
Right, right.
I'm middle and low class, you know what I mean? But I still make a U.S. dollar, right? Now I don't work
Mm.
often at all, but I make enough to sustain me the month.
Right. Yeah, Jewel's a flight attendant, so she's able to get back and
Oh,
forth. Yeah.
that's
I I need to head her off for a standby.
nice.
Standby for my flight back to Ghana.
That's something that I had thought about when I was younger. I thought that would be a cool, career to get into and just
Yeah.
fly around and visit other countries and stuff in different places. Like that's cool. That's cool.
Hmm.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, what do you think? I was thinking that more of the diaspora coming in and bringing our money there and all of our, our resources or whatever we have, that we can contribute to the continent. Wouldn't if it's enough of us, we can really start to, see change. We can really start to even these things that's going on the way, these ways that we have in Africa that we just like it's just the way it is. We can start to make these changes. We can start, I feel like if we start working together and coming there and kind of like, okay, this we have to bring this up to another level. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like if it's enough of us coming in, we can start changing some of these things and even when we are providing these jobs, helping out and making jobs and stuff like that, we can start to be like, okay, you need to be here at a certain time or we're gonna hire somebody else, and then
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
it
you're
can
right.
move over, it can start to get around. And
You're
when we
right.
start enforcing things like, no, it's not going to be 3 hours you coming in when you're supposed to be here at a certain time. You have to leave early, and
Right.
stuff like that. So I think if it's enough of us coming in and just setting these standards that we should have standards like Black people need organization and standards, and we need to start incorporating these things so that we can be on this level that we are supposed to be on, as opposed to just accepting,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
just being just and you just look at a lot of Black businesses like how they can be so much better, but because we can be just so laid back on things that is just like is we're not competing, and that's why a lot of Black people go to white different businesses and stuff, because it's just like we can be so nonchalant about stuff and not being professional and everything. And that's why we need standards. We need standards, because we can be just as good as them, and we have proven that we can do what they do, and we can do it, and we are doing it. But it needs to be on a in a more consistent way as far as our people and businesses are concerned. So I just think that more of us coming there and us doing these things and being more involved and contributing, we can change some of the things and make some of the things better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got a point because obviously, for example, business is a competitive playing field. If an African American went to Ghana and established a restaurant that's like really on point with customer service, more African Americans start to do the same. Ghanaians who don't care about customer service would lose business because as more of the diaspora goes there during the holidays, they're probably going to somewhere that they feel more comfortable.
Right.
If you go there and there's a brother or sister that has started a business in Laboni somewhere, you're going over there instead of going to the local chow bar down the street. That might not be, you might look at it and say, oh, it's not as clean, or it's not my standards.
Right.
So you've got to step your game up. Folks are gonna have to step their game up. As I say, the cream always rises to the top. So hey,
Exactly.
yeah, you do have a point. Yeah, so people will have to change the way they do business, but it will take a while, though.
Yeah,
It will
I'm
take a
sure.
while.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. Jewel, you got
I
anything
want
to
to say
say?
something again, but I do. But I just Wi-Fi. I don't know what is going
Yeah, I
on.
know.
I got something to say, but I do want to say this before I go. If any, subscribers of yours are here that live in Ghana that know a rental property, I'm looking for a place. I need to move by November, so please hit me up. My Instagram is Candid Jewel. Please let me know. I'm looking for this ASAP. Okay. But I wanted to say something about what Toya said. I definitely understand about setting the standard, right? You can't show 3 hours. I think that's ridiculous. But I feel like here in Ghana, it gets away. Like people get away with it. One, because they get paid every month, right? So say for instance, the server at a restaurant gets paid every month. I mean, gets paid at the end of the month, regardless of how many hours they
Once a
work,
month.
right?
Mm.
So I
Mm.
feel like right. So as they come in, they kind of do whatever they want to because they've already been paid, right? I think the people that are owning places aren't holding them accountable. When people are coming in late to work, managers and owners have to also understand they're coming in late not because it's something that they have control over, like the protocol, right? So with so many
Hmm.
different variables that are coming in to hinder them from being great. Now, should they
Yeah.
leave early or should they pick a job closer to where they don't have to rely on transportation? Of course. Um, so that's what I was gonna say about that. The other thing I was gonna say was I can't remember.
Mhm.
I should have took notes. I just listen to y'all. I think this is an amazing conversation. I'm gonna go ahead and get over here after this and let y'all talk. I'm just gonna listen. I'm being
Okay.
a comment.
All right.
Okay. Fine. Okay. I just want to say
Nice
something.
meeting you. And I can't wait to see you
Okay.
in Ghana. Hit me up. I'm gonna be there.
Bye. Yeah, and about what she said, that's why when we come there, we need to be paying what they, a good pay rate. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be if we come in, we paying a good pay rate, and we're not paying. And then like here, we get paid every week, every 2 weeks. If we do something like that, then it'll make people want to, work harder and stuff. Even here, we get paid. We're not getting paid that much, and that's why people even here, slack off, not really working on their phones, while they at work and
Yeah.
taking long breaks and hiding.
It's human behavior. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep,
that's not endemic to Ghana or parts of Africa. It's just human behavior. If you
exactly.
feel like you're not getting rewarded for something, you're just gonna act the way you want. Like, so, for example, in Ghana, like I said, the culture is just different.
Mm-hmm.
When I went the last time I was there, I was with my cousin, and the waitress brought us some drinks, and I tried to tip her. I tried to give her, a couple of CDs, the local currency,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "No, we don't tip over here." And the girl even looked at me kind of strange, like, "Are you sure you want to give me?" I was, "Yeah, like, just
Wow.
take it." Yeah, they don't. Tipping is not a thing there, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So yeah, it's again, I hate to say it, but it's not like I want to make an excuse, but it's just completely different culture, and way of thinking about things, way of doing things, and everything, the whole gamut. It's just different. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And like I said, when I know I want to start businesses there and everything, and I want to be able to pay our people, what they deserve. So that's what we should be going in with, paying them what they deserve, what they should be paid. And then it do make them appreciate their jobs more and want to again work harder. Hopefully they want to work harder and be on time and all those things, because when you feel appreciated, then and then for them to know, you can be replaced, just really setting those standards. I think that is just so important because again, like we talk about these things that are lacking or, just our behavior, but it shouldn't be accepted when we can do better. When we, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I can't get that up. Like I refuse to see us, beneath and not working at our fullest and and being great because we have it in us. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's a lot. It's a lot that we got to work on. But yeah, we'll get there. I mean,
We go.
I'm an eternal optimist. So I believe that we can get out of our own way. It's a lot of work, but
Mhm.
we can get out of our own way and be better and do better,
Yeah.
because the one thing that's stopping us is, like, I feel like we don't know that there's a different way.
Mm.
And once you find out that there's a different way, it's really so hard to change who you
Mm-hmm.
are and who you become, that you just like, I don't want to do the work
Right.
because, yeah, I'm used to this way of living. I don't want to live any other way. I don't want to do,
Right.
so,
Yeah.
but,
And we tend to go the easier route.
yeah,
Whatever is easy. I gotta do that too. Like I gotta do that too.
yeah,
So we quick to, but it's like, yeah, we can't give up on each other. We can't give up on our people. And I feel like some of us have, because I hear a lot, you know, I've been, this one guy, he's an older guy, and he was just like, I've been talking to our people about this. And you know how we talk about, different things about, bettering ourselves. And we talk about Africa and stuff like that. And he's like, I've been doing that for years. And it's just the way our people are going to be. And pretty much, just like you wasting your time and stuff. And these are the people that are giving up. It's like we giving up on, our future, like us having a better future, and we really don't have that luxury to give up on our people in Africa, because we have generations, like it's only gonna get worse.
right,
It's only gonna get worse if we don't continue what we're doing and continue to fight for what it is we deserve, and for our future, our children and their children, to have a better life. And I say I won't be here, I'm sure I won't be here to see it, but for generations to be able to not even believe like the things that we have gone through in racism, to not even believe that, wow, it was racism. That's my dream, for them
mm,
to be a generation that they have to see videos and they have to see pictures and all that kind of stuff to even believe that this has happened to us. That's my dream. So it's just like us continuing to do this and continuing to fight and to bring our people and to help open our people eyes and start coming together and making our future, creating a better future, for us,
yeah,
and for us to have that connection with Africa, because that's so important. Even if you
yeah,
don't move there, it's so important to have some type of connection and to even visit, you know, like that's very important for us to really start doing.
yeah. I think part of the problem, and I'm going to pose this question to you. Do you think that is really because of our environment, the types of people that we're around? And the reason why I ask that is because, in my early 20s, I lived in what you would probably call the hood. I lived in a place called Newport News, Virginia, which they called it Bad News instead of Newport News, but it's called Newport News. It's a really rough area. I don't know if you know who Allen Iverson is. Uh, okay, well he's a basketball player,
Oh,
and he came. Yeah,
Allen.
Allen
Oh,
Iverson.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's where he's from. Allen Iverson and Mike
Oh,
Vick
okay.
are both from Newport News, Hampton area. So it's a really, really rough neighborhood. Like really impoverished. It's just like any hood in America.
Right.
And when I was living there, for the year that I lived there, I got to like really understand how Black people are in the condition that they're in America. I'll give you a perfect example. There was this a set of like I guess you could call projects, and around these set of homes, in order to leave there, you go through these iron rod like a fence.
Mm-hmm.
That's an iron fence.
Right.
So let's say a child that's living in that neighborhood from when they're little to when they grow up, they turn 18. In order to leave, you got to go through that door, through
Right.
that iron fence every single time. What do you think that's doing to the mentality of that child as they're growing up to be a man?
Right.
It's like you probably get programmed like I'm locked in this place.
Right. Yeah.
Like this is a place that I'm locked and I can't get out. And that's I think how certain Black people get stuck in their environment. They don't see a way out
Exactly.
because
No,
they don't.
I totally believe that, our environment is it affects how we think and how, the decisions that we make, because that's not like all we know unless we are exposed to something, to
Exactly.
something else, we're not going to know anymore. And that's how I grew up. I didn't, I grew up in a hood. So it wasn't a lot that I seen and that I knew, that's all I knew. And so I did what everybody else did. Everybody did the same thing. And so
Hmm.
that's all I knew. And so until got older and was more exposed to things and to see things, that's when you start to, see life differently and see, choices, that you have choices and options and things like that. But yeah, if you're not exposed to certain things, then you're going to think that this is all there is. This is as
Yeah.
good as it's going to get, accept this, and yeah, I think a lot of us have accepted that this is what it is. And we have been complacent and us, just, staying where we are and not bettering ourselves and not seeing things different. And again, it goes back to us not wanting to change, because this is what I know. And this is,
Yeah.
everybody that's around, this is what we do, and as
Yeah.
even they talk about, you being white, you talk white and stuff like that, is because they have accepted that this is how it is.
Right.
And when somebody step out and want more, and try to do better for themselves, then, they're being white, or, because they want more, you
Hmm.
know. And so
Yeah.
yeah, that is a big reason why, a lot of us aren't, and then you look at, when you see these kids that are out and the conditions, like when they're stealing or they're selling drugs and all of that. And why do you think, as opposed to just, seeing what they're doing and accusing them, and they horrible people, why are they like that? Why are they doing
Mhm.
the things that they're doing? Not to say that it's right, but it's a reason why
Yeah.
we do the things that we do. So
Hmm.
it's like, stop judging people and really try to get into their head and where they come from, and what's going on in their home and all those things, as opposed to, bashing them and making them, a normal person is going to want more, is not going to want to hurt people and kill people and do all these
Right.
bad things, like who want to do these?
Yeah.
That's
But
just
it's what you see in your environment. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up that point because for example, Africans, if you don't really understand what's going on in America, how America was created to be the way it is, and the America, for example, the plight of a young Black man, because a lot of Africans, what they see about American Black people are that Black men are either entertainers, really good athletes, drug dealers, and that's pretty much it.
Mm,
So if you're coming here as an African, and that's part of the disconnect, if you're coming here as an African, you have this kind of elitist mentality that I'm coming here to really work, to really hustle and make money to send back home, and you don't want to deal with any Black people because all you see you've seen in the movies back home is that black people are, thugs. They dress a certain way because that's all you see. You're not going to see black doctors. You're not going to see black lawyers, at least historically, in the 70s, 80s, through the media. You're not going to see any other part of black society uh, unless what the media showed you back home.
Right.
Okay. Except coming to America, of course. That was the only time we saw black black royalty, back in Africa, and that was make believe,
Right.
So the point that I'm trying to make is that this is the perception that we're coming here to America with. And that's why black people here think that, oh, this African, he acts kind of snooty or snobby. He doesn't want to deal with me. But it's the perception that we're coming here into America with,
Right.
because we didn't know that the black neighborhoods in the 80s, the CIA pushed cocaine into the black neighborhoods. We didn't know about that. I
Right.
didn't learn about that until recently, with the last few years, and I actually saw it. What happened? There was a TV show called Snow that
Mm.
actually showed exactly what happened with the South Central Los Angeles. The
Mm-hmm.
CIA actually pushed,
Right.
the
Right.
drugs into the neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
and crack cocaine just exploded from
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it decimated the black communities all over America.
Mm-hmm.
But as Africans back home, you're not gonna understand that. You're not gonna. I didn't know, for example, that the CIA had to do with the kid or the removal of our first president, Kwame Nkrumah. The
Mm.
CIA had something to do with that. I didn't know that growing up as a child in Ghana until I came here much later. I was in my 20s and I actually was snooding through Wikipedia one day, and I was like, wow, just looking at that.
Right.
Yeah, this American government can be, uh, it can be something else, man. It's
Yeah.
done a lot of damage, you
Uh,
know.
so much damage.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
again, that's why, and I heard that you said it's hard for you to, to think about, should I be enjoying it as much or should I be,
yeah,
because of it. But it's just like, I don't know. I guess just my eyes and really finding out for myself because I didn't know a lot of stuff because I didn't care, at first.
yeah.
Now that I want to know and I'm finding these things out, I'm just like, oh my, like my mind is blown about a lot of things.
Most people don't care. The average black person here is just,
Yeah.
if they have a job, they're just living their life, they're just
Right.
paying their bills. They might be going to the club or movies or
Mm-hmm.
taking their kids here, sports or whatever, just living the average life. And that's okay. But you're
It's
living
not
a
okay. It's not
no,
okay
what,
for
what
me.
what I'm saying is that you're being a progressive member of society. You're paying your taxes and you're doing
Right.
what you're supposed to do. You're raising your family, which is what most people are supposed to do. But you're asleep at the wheel. You're
Exactly.
not awake. It's kind of like that movie, Get Out. You're not awake. You're asleep. It's like you're in a program. You're being
Yeah.
programmed to do certain things. And if you leave America and go outside of America to, for example, Africa, you're gonna see America in a different light.
Mm.
You really are.
Mm.
Because we're so insulated in this country. We've got that big USA on our chest that, because we have pretty much everything that we need here. That if America, like for example, separated itself from the world, it would still be sustained.
Mm.
Well, maybe not because it still need resources from Africa, but but you get the point that I'm trying to make, right?
Right.
Yeah, we have everything that we need in this country, so
Yeah.
Americans don't think that they need anything else outside this world. For example, a lot of Americans don't ever travel outside America and they don't feel like they need because we have everything here.
Right.
You know,
Right.
why do people get on boats, capsize boats and still try to make it here? Because this is
Mm.
America, you
Right.
know? Yeah,
Right.
and they think that as long as I get onto that land, I'm gonna find some way to make it.
Yeah. And that's what I hear. That's what I hear from so many Native Africans that, just let me get there and
Yeah,
I'm gonna make it and all of that.
yeah,
And then some Native Africans feel like we are spoiled and like, why are you complaining? And I can get it. I totally can get it. But at the same time, like your other guest said, when you've been here all your life and you see, I think what it is we see that we want these things too that white people have. We want it to, like, why don't we have that equal, that why can't we be equal, and we're not accepting.
yeah,
Some of us aren't accepting that you are allowed to do these things and have these things and live this life, live a certain lifestyle and stuff, and we can't do it. Y'all have a problem with us doing it, and we don't want to accept that. Some of us just don't want to accept it, and we shouldn't. You know.
yeah. There's a lack of equality. I think, to be honest with you, for me, when I think about it, segregation, no, not segregation, but when they got rid of segregation, that was the worst thing that happened to the black community, because black people wanted equality for everybody, for both whites and blacks, for us to mix and go to the same schools and whatnot. But what happened was it prevented black people from for striving for more, for getting our own.
Yeah.
Because before then there were black neighborhoods, there
Yeah.
were black lawyers or black doctors that were taking care of black people,
Right.
right?
Right.
And while those neighborhoods were thriving, like the place Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
black people came and destroyed it. So even if when black people tried to thrive and do our
Right.
own thing, there still were white people that are hating on black people in this country that didn't want us to do certain things.
Right. And
So
and even what I forgot exactly what Martin Luther King said, but he said he realized that he was leading his people into a burning building, like literally
exactly,
burning,
right, yeah. He
because
even realized that. Hmm.
exactly,
Yep,
exactly, because he like, this isn't gonna, they are determined. I always say they will burn the United States down before they give us equality. Before they gonna fight tooth and nail.
yeah.
They will not give
And and that's
equality.
why I always say, my father, he always says that there's always going to be racism in this world.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, he's in his 70s, so you can't change a mind that's in his 70s. But he says, yeah, he says no matter what, black people would, I mean, white people would never give black people equality in this country, no matter what happens.
I
Yeah.
don't believe that here either. I don't.
Yeah.
I believe we can have it in Africa. It will take a long time. It will.
E-
It will
Even that,
take
even
time.
that's a whole nother thing.
No,
Our
I
our,
believe it. I believe
our
we got
continent,
Africa before here. I
our
believe we got,
continent that's being taken over by the Chinese. That's
no,
a whole.
but listen, if enough of us, because like I said, everybody ain't gonna be on board
Hmm.
with the mission. Everybody ain't gonna be on board with the mission. But if enough of us, enough of us got together and went and did the things again, you don't have to move there, but be a part
Right.
of developing and going there and being a part of it, and all of that.
Hmm.
We can have the power that we need and get all of the you know the bad leadership out of there. If we can do that, I just have hope that we can do it. I just believe.
The power of the black fist.
I believe we can do it. We can do it.
The power of the black fist.
I
Yeah.
believe it. It's just gonna take enough of us to do it. It's gonna take
Yeah.
enough of us to do it. And I
Yeah.
believe that before I leave this earth, I'm gonna see, and that's what I pray to. Lord, just let me see enough change, and I can leave.
At
Like
least for our children. For
yes,
our children, yeah, to make
yes,
a better place, a better world for our children. That's that's
exactly.
that's what I always say, man. My belief is that anything that I'm blessed enough to do in Africa, it's not gonna be for me. It's gonna be for my children and their children.
Right, right,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's yeah.
here we are so selfish, and it's just all about us. And I think that that is what's really holding us back, because we always like, I have my own, and I have my own kids, or I have my own, stuff to take care of and all that. We can't think like that.
Yeah.
We can't think. We have to see each other as a unit. We have to see, when
Yeah.
one struggling, we are struggling.
I just want to be able to set the table for, for my descendants, and
Mhm.
that's what the well-known supposedly rich families in America did, the Kennedys, the Vanderbilts, and all those families that you heard about. They did it for their descendants, and their descendants are benefiting from it.
Exactly. And that's
So
how they think. That's how we supposed to be thinking. Everybody got
legacy,
it figured out.
yeah, leaving a
So
legacy.
everybody got it figured out. And it's just like we so for here and now, you
Yeah,
know, not thinking about the future and,
yeah.
generations, and it's sad. But we can do this.
We got this.
We
We
gotta
got this.
keep fighting.
We got this. Yeah, I'm gonna wind this down. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you,
Yes.
Latoya. Yeah, nice meeting you. Anytime that you want to join, you join these live chats. I mean, you got a lot to say. I see. You could start your own channel.
I'm a
For real.
talker, definitely a talker.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's been a
so I'm
pleasure
gonna have,
talking to you.
I'm gonna have to go and binge watch your I have some time this weekend. I'm gonna binge watch your videos and everything.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on this.
Yeah,
I love having these conversations. Like,
sure.
yeah.
Absolutely. Where are you located?
I'm in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Ooh,
Yeah.
cold, cold. The frozen tundra.
Right, right. And it's starting to
Wow.
get cold now, and it's breaking my heart because I'm like, I'm not ready for it.
Oh
This is
my
another
goodness.
reason why I need to be in Africa, because I've never gotten used to this cold
It's not for us. We're tropical people.
weather. Right,
We're
right.
tropical people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
All
yeah,
right.
thank you. I enjoyed this conversation.
Sure. Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Likewise. Well, have a nice weekend. Be safe out there, you and your family.
You
And yeah, we'll see you next time.
okay?
All
Okay.
right.
Bye.
So this is your man, King Anand. Guys, it's been awesome tonight. Thank you for everybody that joined the chat, everybody that contributed. It was amazing talking to you guys. I'm gonna be doing this every Friday night, so please stay tuned for more content. I'm gonna be dropping some more content, uh, probably tomorrow morning. I'm gonna be editing throughout the night, and then tomorrow morning there's gonna be a new video out. It's gonna be a surprise if you didn't hear about it already. So please stay tuned on your YouTube TV, on your smartphone, your computers, your Apple TV, your Android TV, and catch this face on on this channel. But this is your man King Anon signing out. Please like, subscribe, and share the content because sharing is caring. And I'll see you on the next live on your TV or smartphone. All right. Yeah. Good night.